the high cost of taking advice from the wrong people. Okay, it's actually very important I do this coaching video because I'm getting a lot of messages from you guys going, hey, Em, what do you think of this guy? Or what do you think of this coach? You know, what do you think of this red pill guy? Or what do you think of this pickup artist? You know, whoever it is in the manosphere. And I always tell you guys, I'm like, hey, if you're gonna take advice from them, make sure they're actually doing and living what they teach, what they say, what they write about in their books, okay? Because if they're just like teaching this stuff but not actually living it, red flag, okay? Red flag. And in pickup, we call that incongruence, right? We call it incongruence when you're not congruent with your thoughts, words, and actions, okay? And that's actually one of the biggest factors that you need to approach and close a beautiful woman successfully is you need to be congruent in your thoughts, words, and actions, right? And this is why I often say that, hey, I not only teach this stuff, but I live it. I'm literally out there 4 to 5 times per week picking up girls, okay? All the lessons I teach you guys on my channel, I'm actually doing. And it's not something I did 10, 20 years ago. It's something I do every single day, okay? Practically every single day I go out. Because even when I'm not in the venues and I see a cute girl and I approach her, I'm using the exact same techniques and doing the exact same things I teach you, right? But if you're learning, you know, pickup or dating advice or any of the red pill stuff, especially, and you're learning it from guys who aren't actually living it, red flag, right? I mean, if these guys are teaching stuff about being red pill and don't trust women, blah, 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 yet they're married, what does that tell you, okay? I don't care who they are. What does that tell you, right? And especially because a lot of these guys like to bag on me, unsurprisingly, right? Of course they like to bag on me because they're jealous and envious of the growth of my channel. And I've always said, I really honestly believe that guys gravitate towards me just because they feel it's coming from an authentic source. They feel like it's coming from somebody who's genuinely doing and living this stuff, not somebody who's just hiding behind a microphone and, you know, is a talking head, but somebody who's actually out there doing it, you know, especially you guys who follow me on Instagram, constantly uploading photos of me with different women, me approaching women. I try to shoot as much infield as I can. I have to be a little bit more careful these days, guys, just because YouTube has been shutting down all these pickup artist channels. I don't know if you heard about that, but they've been shutting down anybody who's like posting like massive infields on their channel, right? They went through a purge the last few months of looking for any PUA channel that was doing some heavy like infield. I even had to unlist a few of mine just because I didn't want to end up on their radar, right? But getting back to the point, when it comes to taking advice from somebody, okay, whether it be a mentor, a teacher, you know, whatever field, whatever topic you need advice in, again, you want to make sure that person is actually doing what they say. They're actually living what they teach, okay? Because otherwise they're a fraud. They're a poser, right? That's what we used to call them back in the day, posers. I don't know if they still use that word, but they're posers, right? I especially have a problem with, I did a whole coaching video on this too, called Fire Your Teachers and Hire Mentors Instead. Now, I took some shit for that coaching video because people are like, no, I love my teacher. I love my teacher. And I'm like, really? But why is he in a classroom? You know, if, you know, for example, if you have a professor who teaches business, why is he hiding in a classroom? Why isn't he out there doing business, right? It doesn't make sense to me. So I've always had a problem with teachers because teachers really, especially after they get tenure, I mean, they're just getting a paycheck. They're not really living what they teach, right? They're just teachers, right? Whereas mentors, you know, they don't get a check unless they're getting you success, right? So that's the difference between a teacher and a mentor. A teacher gets a check no matter what. Okay, the teacher is gonna get paid whether you're successful or not. Doesn't matter. Okay, you could fail in life. Doesn't matter. Teacher gets paid. Mentors don't get paid unless we get you success. Okay, our business doesn't succeed unless you're successful. Okay, I mean, I've been in business now since the mid-90s. I've been teaching pickup since 95. The reason why I'm still here and I've been around so long is because I get my students success. I do, right? just that coaching video alone, fire your teachers, hire mentors instead, speaks volumes, right? Because he's really dependent on you being successful in order for him to be successful, right? And I can't be successful, I can't grow my business if my students are not successful. You feel me? And again, I really believe this just goes back to the growth of my channel. Is the reason why it's grown exponentially, especially lately, is because guys are taking my advice and they're seeing that it works in the real world. You know, besides the fact that they're getting it from a credible source, right? An in-field, cold approach pickup artist who's interacting with, you know, hundreds and hundreds of women every single week and who is actively taking students out. The fact that they're getting it from a credible source makes them feel good. It makes them feel like, okay, this dude knows what he's talking about. I could trust him, right? Whereas other dudes on YouTube, I mean, these guys are just talking heads, you know, and, you know, I don't have anything against any of them. You know, I don't do these call out videos like they do. I don't do these expose videos and shit. You know, I don't do little petty beta bullshit like that, right? I mean, because when guys do stuff like that, I mean, it just goes to show that they're not actually in field. They're not actually successful with women, because that's one of the biggest things you learn right away is you don't want to be ever caught in your feminine energy, right? You don't ever want to be enslaved by that feminine energy, because as I teach my dating students, feminine energy wants to encapsulate, right? It wants to control you, right? Feminine energy wants to control the outcome. Feminine energy wants to imprison you, whereas masculine energy wants to be free, right? Part of masculine energy, you know, just talk about these like guys who do the expose videos or response videos on YouTube where they get in response battles with each other. The reason I don't do shit like that is because, again, when you're doing shit like that, you're falling prey to your feminine energy and you're no longer in your masculine energy, okay? When it comes to masculine energy, the proper thing to do would be to just keep putting your work out there, right? And let it speak for itself. If people don't like it, hey, that's okay. You can't control that, right? All you can do is control yourself and try to get better, right? You can try to produce better content. If people aren't liking my shit, hey, I try to get better, okay? That's what I do. You know, my stuff very, very early on, like when I first started posting to YouTube, I mean, guys liked it, but I knew I could do better, right? And the better I did, the more subscribers I got, the more likes I got, the more followers I got, and the more my business grew. I never went out there and started looking at other pickup artists and was like, ooh, this guy, exposed. Let me expose him. Ooh, you know, because I'm trying to control the outcome, because that shit is feminine, right? That means that you are in your feminine energy when you do dumb shit like that. That's why when, you know, you see these other red pill guys call me out or they try to expose me, you know, it's just hilarious to me because I know what they're doing. And I know they're trapped in their feminine energy, you know, because they're trying to control the outcome, right? And part of having masculine polarity is you don't try to control the outcome. You just put your work out there and you do the best that you can and then let the free markets decide. Right? You let the free markets decide. If people want to listen to you, they'll listen to you. If people want to follow you, they'll follow you. You never need to waste a second doing like a response video. You never need to waste a second calling out another channel or this guy's doing this. You know, you never have to do any petty beta little girl shit like that, right? Because you know your shit is good. And this is why I don't do those response videos. I don't answer to any of these people because I know my shit's good. And I'm like, hey, if people don't like it and they want to believe them, then that's fine, you know, because guys find me every day and they're like, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. So I let my work speak for itself. It's just like in field, right? When I'm doing pickup, you know, I just do the best that I can. And I teach my students to do that too. I mean, I'm not gonna have a game every single night that I go out. You know, there are nights where I'm tired. There are nights where I feel overworked. There are nights where I'm just not into it, right? But I see an attractive girl and I don't wanna let it go. And I just do the best I can, right? And really at the end of the day, that's all you can do the best you can. And a lot of those times it works out. And the times it doesn't, it's, you know, a lot of times it's out of your control. Maybe the girl's just not feeling it that day. Maybe, you know, her cat ran away. Maybe she had a family member who passed away. You don't know. And she's just not in the mood for this. And that's okay, right? That's okay. I'm just on to the next target. The last thing I'm gonna do is sit there and go, what's your problem? You know, you stupid bitch. And, you know, start reacting and shit and start calling her out. You know, that's the last thing I'm going to do. I mean, if anything, I'm just going to move on to the next target. And, you know, if I did anything wrong in that last set, I'm going to review it later when I get home, or I'm going to think about it when I'm driving home, and I'm going to be like, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have done differently that would have changed that outcome? You know, if there was anything, right? So I try to take the masculine perspective, and I don't allow myself to sink into lower consciousness, right? I don't allow myself to sink into lower consciousness and be like, she's just a stupid bitch anyway. All these bitches are cheating whores. And, you know, because now you're shifting the blame onto her and like the entire population of women out there, rather than doing the masculine thing and going, hey, what could I have done that would have been better? That, you know, maybe I could have got a smile out of her. Maybe I could have got her laugh. Maybe I could have spun her anger into attraction. What could I have done better, right? I'm constantly watching my own behavioral patterns. But not to get too far off topic, you want to be careful who you take advice from, guys. Be very, very, very careful. No matter what subject it is, whether it's business, dating, health, fitness, you know, you want to listen to people who are actually doing it, okay? You want to take advice only from people who are actually doing it. Like right now, I'm getting a lot more into real estate investing because I have some change in my pocket. I want to buy some more property. Do you think I'm going to go take a class at a community college and learn from some professor hiding in a classroom how to buy rental property? No, of course not. I'm going to get on YouTube and I'm going to find myself a mentor, right? That's the fastest way to do it. You just get on YouTube and you find yourself somebody who's actually doing it and who has proof of himself doing it. But if he's just a talking head, and there are plenty of these talking heads on YouTube, even just talk about real estate, I've never seen them do a single deal. They've never shot a video from a single one of their properties. Yet here they are like, yeah, sign up for my program. And it's like, dude, show us some of your houses. Show us some of your properties, right? Otherwise, I'm not going to take advice from you. Yeah, I might listen a little bit, but you know what? I'm going to cross-reference what you say with the guy who's actually doing it. And, you know, I've mentioned the real estate guys I'm following right now. I follow Graham Stephan, Meet Kevin. Not really so much following Graham as much anymore because he's got I feel like now he's become too much of a YouTube star, and he's more concerned about like pumping out content than he is, you know, talking about real estate investing. So, you know, he still has a lot of valuable content on his channel, like some of his older videos, but I'm looking for new guys to follow, and one of his colleagues, Meet Kevin, is one of the guys I'm learning from right now. All right, so when it comes to real estate, and Meet Kevin is active. Right, he's not only a real estate agent and a real estate broker, but he's a real estate investor as well. So he's actively doing this stuff. So, you know what? I'm gonna learn from that dude because he's out there doing that, right? I'm not gonna learn from a talking head. I'm not gonna learn from a guy hiding behind a microphone. I'm just not gonna do it because, you know what? That advice can be very, very costly, right? It can be very, very costly. And when it comes to dating advice, you know, man, you guys crack me up sometimes. You send me some of these dating coaches and you guys will be like, oh, coach blah, blah, blah from, you know, this dating channel said that he totally disagrees with what you said about this. And I'm like, really? Where's his infield on that? Show me his infield. Oh, he doesn't do infields. I'm like, oh, so he has no proof. Like, no. And I'm like, then shut up. Shut up. Don't send me his shit, okay? I don't want to know, dude. Don't be stupid. I'm like, he's just talking out of his ass. If he has no proof of him doing it or even living the life or any proof whatsoever, don't waste my time. Period, okay? I'm like, you see my stuff, you see my infields, you see my Instagram. Dude, don't waste my time with that shit. Don't ask me dumb questions like, well, he's saying this. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about? You know, he doesn't have a shred of proof that he's actually out there doing what he's teaching, okay? So remember, guys, if you're gonna take advice from anybody, make sure the person's actually doing what they teach. Make sure they have at least, you know, some evidence of them actually doing this shit, some proof. I mean, you know, something, right? Just have something. And so many of these guys don't. I mean, even some of these like red pill dating guys, it's like, I don't know if they're red pill dating guys, but just other dating coaches per se. right? I mean, you guys send me their stuff all the time. Oh, he disagrees with you. He said this. I'm like, show me his infield. Where's proof of him with any woman whatsoever? A few of you guys were sending me this one guy, and he has a shit ton of subscribers, more than me, right? A lot of people follow this guy. And he really kind of started based off of one of my other channels, and I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not gonna call him out by name because I don't like doing that shit. It's like really, really petty shit when you try to call out another YouTuber by name and expose. You know, because I get some of these red pill dudes doing that to me, and I just laugh my ass off. I go, what a bunch of little bitches, man. What a bunch of fucking beta males, right? It's such little bitch behavior. It's so petty. It's so petty. It just tells you like so much about these guys. And, you know, not surprisingly, these guys aren't very successful with women. You know, a lot of these guys are divorced, they have kids, or they're in marriages where they're not happy. And it's like, here you guys are taking advice from these jackasses. I'm like... Then you guys send me their links to their videos going, hey, what do you think? They're calling you out. What do you think of this? I'm like, I don't. Go ahead. Go ahead, dude. Call me out all you want. I don't think about it. I'm too busy, right? I'm too busy. I'm too busy adding value to your lives, right? I'm not going to spend a moment of my precious time on this earth or an ounce of my energy, okay? Not gonna spend a moment of that or an ounce of my energy trying to expose another YouTuber or trying to call out another red pill guy or trying to do one of these response videos. Why? Because that doesn't help you, okay? That doesn't help you. You know, when people do shit like that, all that does is feed into their own ego. They're doing it selfishly for themselves, right? So that's why I don't do shit like that, guys. I don't do like low value, petty shit like that. And I never will. All right, but as I was saying, you want to be careful who you listen to, because if you listen to the wrong guy, I mean, that advice could be really, 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 it could be really, really costly. I'm looking at this light, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, I'm in San Francisco right now. I'm like visiting my parents, and I cannot figure out like, so yeah, they're like changing all these lights, and yeah, it's insane. But all right, I think, holy smokes, turn green. All right, if you're gonna take advice from anybody, no matter what it's about, okay, whether it's your health, your fitness, your dating, you know, how to build a business, make sure they're doing it, okay? Make sure that they are not only doing it, but they have results, okay? Make sure they're successful at what they do, because if they're just teaching this stuff and they're doing it, but they're not successful, I mean, how far do you think you're gonna get, right? So you wanna learn from guys that are not only doing it, but you also wanna learn from the best, right? You wanna learn from the best. The guys that are the best out there, okay? If you're trying to get six-pack abs, learn from the best, right? If you're trying to get in better shape and get six-pack abs and, you know, burn belly fat, are you gonna learn from some, you know, fat ass who's like sitting at home eating Jack in the Box all night and just talking and hiding behind a microphone and telling you how to get six-pack abs? No, of course not. You're gonna want to learn from a guy who's actually got six-pack abs, who actually busted his ass to get it, right? And didn't cheat and didn't take steroids and didn't do all that other stuff. I remember when I started building my first online business, right? There were a number of guys out there who were selling ebooks, selling programs, dishing out free advice. Like, hey, get on my email list and download my free ebook and all this other stuff. But yet they never posted their actual results from their business, right? They didn't have results. I mean, they had a really great sales letter. They had a really great spiel, you know, and they're like, oh, this is what you got to do. And oh, everything in my free ebook will tell you how to do it and all this. And I didn't even bother with that, you know. I ended up seeking out guys that, you know, they didn't have the fanciest websites, they didn't have the fanciest marketing materials, but you know what they did have? They had results. Okay, that's who I started connecting with. I started connecting with guys, you know, and they didn't even have big followings at the time. And some of them still don't really have big followings, right? But I filtered out these guys because they were actually out there doing it and they were getting success, right? It's not like they were multi-millionaires or anything like that yet. Many of them ended up becoming millionaires, you know, just as I had, right? But they were actually out there doing it. you know, and I started following these guys. A number of them didn't have free shit. They weren't giving away a free ebook or anything. I mean, right off the bat, you had to kind of like pay for their program. But because they were getting results, I didn't mind doing that. Okay, so I actually avoided any of the guys who didn't have results giving away their free ebooks, and I just went for the guys with the smaller following, with no free shit to give away. It was just like, hey, you want to learn from me? Here's my program, you know, and you want to pay it, pay it. If you don't, don't, right? And I paid it because I believe you get what you pay for, you know, and sometimes the most costly advice is free advice. That's why I didn't want to download those guys' free ebooks and how to build a business, and I didn't want to learn the wrong way. I wanted to learn the right way, and I wanted to learn from dudes who were actually in the trenches on the battlefield building online businesses. And because I learned from those guys, guess what? I built a successful business, right? I built one. But if I had listened to those guys who were just talking heads, download my free ebook, just get on my email list, if I listened to those fools, I don't think I would have built the business that I did. I don't think I would have gained the business knowledge that I have, to the point where now I'm teaching other people how to do it. You know, and it's not cheap to hire me to help you build your business, right? My pickup programs and my dating advice, which I think is far more valuable, by the way, I charge far less for. I just charge far less for because there's not that type of demand for that. But it's way more valuable than the business stuff. I'll tell you that point blank. But I do charge more for my business coaching because I've learned from the best and I've been able to succeed doing it, okay? I went from basically broke to being in the top 1% of income earners in the United States in less than 7 years, right? In my 40s, if that. I mean, that's a story in itself to like, I mean, I was like in my very early 40s, or I just turned 40 or something like that. Yeah, I had just turned 40 and I was broke, man. I lost all my money trying to start all these businesses that failed. And then finally I started to succeed and I gained traction and I was able to kind of amplify, you know, those little successes that I had and really grow my business to the point where, you know, I became part of the top 1%. I remember my accountant called me and she was like, hey, Matt, we gotta incorporate your business. And I'm like, what do you mean incorporate? I'm like, it's fine the way it is. And she's like, no. You have to become a corporation. Otherwise, you're going to be taxed up the yin yang. And I'm like, why do I have to be a corporation? I'm like, that's weird. What for? And she's like, because you're in the top 1% and everyone in the top 1% forms a corporation. I'm like, I'm not in the top 1%. She's like, you're in the top 1%. I'm like, really? She's like, oh yeah, you've been in the top 1%. I'm like, whoa, when did this happen? You know, it just happens when you're not even looking. You know, just thanks to the fact that I listened to guys that guys listening to Glory of Love from Karate Kid 2. That's awesome. Anyway, the fact that I found myself business mentors that were not just talking heads and that were actually entrepreneurs, I was able to build a successful business, right? And, you know, when it comes to anything, I seek out the best. I seek out guys who are actually doing it. Again, talking about real estate and, you know, looking for more investment property right now, I'm going directly to guys that I see that are out there getting results. Guys who are actually doing it, not guys who are producing a free ebook or, you know, teaching at a community college. No, I'm learning from guys who are actually doing it. And does it cost more? Absolutely, right? You're learning from guys who are actually doing it. They're gonna charge you what they're worth, right? And this is why some guys ask me like, how come your pickup program's so expensive? I'm like, that's what I'm worth, baby. I'm like, you don't have to pay it. No one's putting a gun to your head, but that's the market rate of what, you know, this type of advice is going for from a qualified dating coach, from a proven pickup artist. Right? That's what the market rate bears. And, you know, and that's what people pay. Right? If nobody was paying it, obviously I'd have to lower my prices, but everybody is okay with it. As a matter of fact, I've been told a number of times by my team that we need to raise our prices, and I'm holding back on that, you know, just because I feel like we're good where we are, but they're like, no, we need to raise it by 10, 20%. I'm like, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out later on in the year. All right. So that's all I really have to say for this coaching video, guys. Watch out who you take advice from. Okay, really watch out, whether it's in the dating community, the red pill community, right? Even though some of these guys are, you know, like geniuses and they can articulate the red pill much better than I can. you got to be wary, because a lot of these guys aren't living and breathing what they teach, right? It's like they'll teach you like how to be masculine and how to be more manly and all this other stuff, yet here they are doing petty shit on YouTube, and you see them doing it, right? You see them doing it. I mean, there's like this one red pill group that I think they have like a podcast or a live stream like every week, and all they do is like complain about anybody who's attacking the red pill or other YouTubers. I mean, they're like a knitting group, right? They're no different than an old ladies knitting group, and that shit is not alpha, right? I did a whole coaching video on this on my channel too, called Never Complain. Men never complain, right? You just don't. You have to be stoic. Again, I mean, masculine energy wants to be free, right? You put your work out there, you don't try to control the outcome, you do the best that you can, and you put it out there and see how the market responds. You see how viewers respond to you. And if they don't like your shit, hey, don't complain. Just go, okay, look at the comments, look at what they don't like about it, okay, and then fix it. That's it. And then produce another video and make it better. That's all you can do. The last thing you want to do is go out there and spend your time doing an expose video like, oh, they didn't like my shit. And you know what? This YouTuber says this, and this guy says this, and this dating coach, and this red pill guy, and this pickup artist is saying this, and blah, 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 you know, and look at me though, I'm being totally honest, you know, and doing all that like virtue signaling shit. That shit is beta, okay? It's beta. It's pathetic. It's feminine behavior, period. Okay, so be careful who you listen to. That's the point of this whole coaching video, okay? No matter what it is, be careful who you listen to. Listen to guys that are actually out there on the battlefield with their machine guns and, you know, putting in the work every single day. Not guys who are hiding behind a classroom or hiding behind a microphone or, you know, a YouTube studio and are not living and breathing what they teach, right? So I'm gonna wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross from AlphaMaleSecrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell right next to it so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on YouTube. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton when you subscribe to my channel, so please make sure you subscribe. Also make sure that you are sharing my coaching videos with your buddies and your like-minded friends and like-minded family members. So please share my coaching videos as well, so we could really get this red pill knowledge out there to the world and to more guys, and we could help more guys wake up and, you know, stop living in the dark. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill content that I'm teaching guys here on my channel even further, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from YouTube, just to protect my content, protect you guys, right? Protect all of us in case YouTube decides to shut us down one day. And, you know, you never know with the way YouTube is just shutting down any channel that goes against their narrative, right? So if you want to support my work and support my channel, that is the absolute best way to do it, is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male content from me. You're gonna learn a ton of extremely highly valuable lessons for how to be an alpha male and how to regain your masculinity in today's highly feminized, emasculated, pussified world, right? So become a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel now, right? It's only $1. So do that now. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. All right, got a pretty cool shot of the Bay Bridge in the distance there, guys. We're actually in the Embarcadero in my old neighborhood. Going to meet a friend right now. My buddy with his Hummer. There he goes. Yeah, we get flicked off in this car. Yeah, people, the liberals out here do not like you rolling in a Hummer, but you know what, who cares? Okay, there's Coit Tower, by the way. You can't see it, but it's in the distance. All right.